Thanks, dear. Okay. Everybody's muted.
Got it.
Unmuted. Awesome. Okay. We've got people still jumping on, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want to thank you guys for joining us for part 2 of our social media training. So we learned a little bit more about Facebook last week, and Jess is going to cover Instagram this week. And I'm so excited because all I know how to do on Instagram is post. That's it. And I don't even know if I'm doing that right, but I have figured that much out. But what I told Jess, kind of some of the things that I want to know from her is how do you create relationships on Instagram? I figured out how to do it on Facebook, but how do you create relationships on Instagram? How do you use Instagram to build your business? How do you find the trending hashtags, like the most popular hashtags? I knew at one point, but I don't remember how to do it. And basically, like, who to block, who to not block, who to, follow, who to not follow, stuff like that. So hopefully she's going to be able to fill our buckets with how to build our business on Instagram so we can, because Instagram is huge right now. And I see so many people that are signing customers and distributors on Instagram, and I'm like, how are they doing it? Because I never know who to connect with and who not to connect with. So Jess, I'm going to let you take it away and just fill our buckets and give us all the information that you can. If anybody has questions, you can unmute yourself or chat with us. You can type in the chat. So take it away, Miss Jess Stone.
Okay. There's so much to cover, so I'm going to try to not get sidetracked and ramble. But first question, I'm just going to go over your questions first just because it's just easier doing that. How to create relationships on Instagram. This goes back to any old people, some social media training, we'll just leave it at that we had. Adding someone on Instagram is kind of like, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you kind of type deal. Liking someone's posts is like a high five. And commenting is like a hug. You want to give as many high fives and hugs as you can. How I build people is once I add them on Instagram, I'll go through their feed and I'll like a bunch of their stuff, comment on a bunch of their stuff. Usually they'll do the same back. And you kind of just go from there, just like on Facebook or any other social media. I take the time to try to stay consistent with that because now Instagram is moving a little bit towards how Facebook is. The more people that you like and comment on, the more they come up on your feed. So that before it didn't do that. It was just whoever you follow, whoever you're following, and whoever posts at that point in time. That's usually how it goes. But now they're kind of tailoring it to what you're actually interacting with or looking at.
That's awesome because I didn't know if it worked the same way. So, okay.
Yeah. That's new as of a few months ago.
Okay.
So that's a new thing. Just do it exactly the same way. Don't be spammy. We say this a million times over. Don't be very careful with how and what you post. Same thing with Facebook. If negativity, we talked about this before, just leave it at the door. It doesn't belong on anything social media related. Hashtags, I do one of two things. There's an app that I use. It's called Omatic. And if you, let's say you're posting about something fitness related, you type in fitness and then it'll give you all the top hashtags for fitness related. Some of them will have fitness in the name, some of them won't. But the one that's at the very top will be the one that's the most posted. And then it just kind of trickles off from there. So that's how I find my hashtags.
What was that called?
Omatic.
Omatic?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I believe it's on iOS and Android.
Okay.
Pretty sure. And I mean, there are a couple websites out there, but they usually don't update immediately, and Omatic is one of the ones that do.
Okay. Awesome.
And then with hashtags too, let's say you're posting something like a lifestyle post, but let's say you have a product, you have pictures of you and your kids and you have a bottle of Confianza in the background. don't just post like rap girl and confianza, post like stress, mom, like stuff related to it that people around you can relate to. Because the more they relate to you, the more they can relate to why you're using the product. And then they're gonna be like, oh, well, I want to try that. I want to be stress free. So that's what I do with the products. That helps out a lot. And share your excitement, just like with Facebook. If you're not excited, they're not going to be excited, and they're just going to keep scrolling past your posts.
Okay.
So, does that answer those questions?
Yeah. And on to the next one. Like, how do you know, like, clearly if you're hashtagging skincare, all these people that sell skincare start following you. And
there's also spam accounts too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I've noticed. So I just have been going through and blocking them, because if I go through their pictures and see that they sell skincare or, post about it, then, I mean, clearly they're in another business, and most of them I block. Do you agree with that?
Yep. Okay. Even if they just like my post and then like I go to their Instagram and see that it's nothing but spam or get X amount of followers or whatever it is, I still block them, even if they don't follow me, just because that means they're coming up on my feed, and I don't need all of that crap on my feed.
Okay.
Also, distributors, I know this sucks, but block distributors.
Okay.
I unfortunately have in the past, nobody in our market, but friends that I have in different states that are It Works distributors have tried taking clients before, and it really sucks. And we shouldn't do that. But if you try to follow me on Instagram and you're not like literally directly underneath me, I usually will block you, and it's nothing personal. But the same goes for higher ups. Like I know Jody, we talked about Alyssa. If you're looking for ideas on posts and whatnot, don't follow them, because that is the quickest way they will block you in an instant. And then you won't be able to like reap from learning from them, because you won't be able to see it.
Right. So you don't want to follow them. You just want to go and like search for them and see what's going on, but not. Okay.
Yeah. And like you said, if they're doing anything like health and wellness, skincare, like that, even the doTERRA, I've had a couple doTERRA people that I've had to block. So anything like It Works-ish related. So.
Okay.
Ways.
I had a quick question. So like, you know how Facebook has like the Facebook jail when you start like requesting so many friends? Does Instagram do the same thing?
Yes.
They do?
You can only, I believe right now it is 60 or 70 an hour. And I mean, you do want, obviously it's easier to add people on Instagram than it is on Facebook.
Right.
But you still have to kind of be intentional. I mean, you don't have to be as in-depth as you are on Facebook, but you still can just like, okay, that's a girl. Click. Like you have to kind of make sure they have a first and last name. Make sure like their picture is clear. It's an actual person. It's not a spam account. Make sure that they have liked post or posted within the past couple days. Because if they haven't, they could, let's say they use their Instagram account a year ago or 2 years ago, then you're kind of wasting your time hoping on leads that aren't even checking their accounts.
Okay.
But you also, if you're looking to branch out and try to find people to join your team from different states, you can Google, like let's say fashion boutiques in Arizona, and you find one that's reputable. If they have like Instagram, Facebook pages, especially if they have Instagram pages, and then find them on Instagram, like go under the search, look up their name, find them on Instagram. Then you can go under their pictures, and if they posted something yesterday, you can see who liked it, and then start looking down the list. And the same criteria, first and last name, they look like a person, and they like, they just like their post, so they're using their Instagram. So they'll be able to see it right away. And that's, if you start loving on them and liking and commenting on their pictures, that's ways to get people from different states. So you're not just stuck with people in the same state that you live in.
Okay. And so like when somebody likes or loves on your pictures, like, are you clicking on message them and then like, hey, thanks for the love on my picture?
Yeah. And what I normally do too, you don't have to take this extra step. Oh, go away. But what I normally do is I will send the picture that they liked in the message, because I get a lot of messages, and half of them, honestly, I don't always remember what we were talking about or what it was about. And it makes it easier for them because they're like, oh yeah, I like that picture. Well, I was wondering about that. You know what I mean? It kind of refreshes their memory, and it's easier to talk about whatever they liked or to bring it up.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
Okay. That's good. Oh, remember when I asked you about, so finding the top trending hashtags?
Mm-hmm.
What do you use?
I'm using that app, the Omatic app.
Okay. And that one will give you the most popular ones going on?
Yep.
Okay.
There's a couple older apps, but they're not honestly even worth it because they don't update them enough.
Okay.
So it's kind of pointless.
Okay.
Also, and if you go, like, if you're checking your Instagram and where it says you, and then if you swipe, I believe it's you swipe to the right, and then it has following, like the people that you're following, it has a lot of time people that aren't following you back. So if you look at the stuff that they're following and then look on their profile and start loving on their page, they'll notice too, oh, this person follows me, they're liking all my stuff. I'm going to look at their profile. And then usually that's when they start following you back, and then you can kind of message them and tell them, hey, thanks for following me back, blah, 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 and kind of open it up that way. And then you can build relationships that way too.
Okay. Okay. So let's start with profile. Like, what should your profile look like? Do you want me to bring up Alyssa's?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me see if we can do this here. Okay, can you see it?
Yep.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sorry. When you like give them love for commenting or liking your post, do you message right away with that picture, or do you do that after you've built a little rapport?
If they like a specific, let's say they comment on a picture, I'll definitely message them right away. Just because if you don't keep it fresh in their mind, they're going to completely forget about it. If they just like pictures, it kind of depends on my mood. Like if it's been slow, and sometimes I will message them back with a picture, but usually I just comment on it and then I'll message them back with that picture. If that makes sense.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so this is Alyssa's.
Is that the one you wanted, or did you want the other one?
No, this one's fine.
Okay.
On hers, you can, now with hers, she does have public figure. You totally don't have to do that, but she's an amazing ambassador diamond, so everyone wants to follow her. She has, her profile picture is of her face. Like you can clearly see it's her, it's clear, it's bright, it's awesome. It has her first and last name that you can clearly see, so you know it's a real person. She has stylish millionaire mama, coffee drinker, etc. But she has emojis with it. And people love emojis. They see emojis first before they actually read what's next to them. So all of this is awesome. Some people like to have their Facebook profile, their link on the actual profile. She doesn't. I have mine on there. It's kind of up to you if you want to do that or not. If you notice with her pictures, a lot of them have like white borders, or they're just have a white background. That is something that draws the eye exactly to the picture. There's a bunch of different apps that help with that. InstaSize is one that I use. And a little bit later, Jody has a picture of a bunch of the apps that I use that help me with Instagram and make it a lot easier. But all of her pictures are bright. There's not a lot of before and afters. If you, well, you can't see it, but if you scroll down in her feed, she has one like here and there. But you can tell it's a real person and it's not fake or someone that's trying to sell you a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, because you really don't see hardly any It Works stuff on hers.
No. I mean,
she's got hair.
Obviously you can't scroll down, but like when you scroll down, there's maybe like one before and after, like every 6 pictures.
Okay.
And even then, once you start getting like too many before and afters, what I do is I delete them. Because you can still delete them and you can save exactly what you put in the post. And then you can just like save it on notes in your phone and you can use it a couple months later. No one's going to know.
Okay. Okay.
So does anyone have any questions on that stuff? This man made so. All right. Another tip.
Is Instagram kind of the same as Facebook? Like you shouldn't have like your picture of you in It Works, like all, you don't want it to look like It Works. Like I feel like I should change my username because it's It Works Rap Girl or IWS Rap Girl.
Honestly, like I wouldn't change it.
My name?
I wouldn't. I mean, Jocelyn Yates has 4 different Instagrams. I mean, she's also one of the ones that works literally 10, 14 hours a day on social media. But, I mean, it works for her. Mm-hmm. So she has one that's just her name. Then she has one that's like Jocelyn.Yates. Then she has one with raps in the name.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's up to you.
Okay.
As long as I don't put a bunch of It Works stuff on my actual profile, like my bio. Just so people don't think, oh God, it's another It Works girl. She's going to try to sell me some raps.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely make sure you're posting more than just It Works.
Right.
Make sure you have we talked about the 6 F's.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely the food, fun, fashion, family. What am I forgetting? Faith, food, travel. Yeah. Friends. All of that stuff people love to look at. Also, stuff that you're interested in. Let's say, okay, I'm obviously interested in tattoos and piercings. I work at a shop. If you look up tattoos and piercings, or you look up an actual tattoo shop and they have current pictures, click on the picture. Then you'll see all the people that like that picture. Start looking through there, finding if there's anyone that looks like they might be either good for the business or you might want to try to talk to you about the products. They're going to trust you more because you have the same interests. Let's say there's a couple of It Works people that they know, but they're not into tattoos. They might be like, I don't know, into cats or something different that person doesn't like. They're probably going to buy from you because you guys have common interests and you both like tattoos. Instead of the person, if she hates cats, they have cats all over their Instagram, they're not going to want to buy from them.
Right.
And you can pretty much apply that to anything, like fashion, dogs, kids, whatever. So people are always comfortable if they have the same interests in mind. But I'm trying to think what else. Oh, one thing I was going to talk about is something Joel Dunn's talked about this a lot, the whole planting and harvesting. You have got to remember, you can harvest all you want, all these people that you planted seeds with, but if you don't remember to follow people every day on Instagram, you're not going to plant any more seeds and you're going to kind of hit a wall. So you got to remember to do both parts, not just follow up with people, but you also have to add people on Instagram too, which I know it can be overwhelming having to deal with Facebook and Instagram, but if you're good at either or, it will be worth it in the end. So.
How many people a day would you say we should be adding to Instagram?
If you're more social media than belly to belly, at least 100. Okay. Like bare minimum, because I mean, people are going to unfollow you. And I mean, there's a million different following apps out there. If there's a bunch of people that haven't liked your post or hasn't had any interaction for months, I do delete them. But I mean, if social media is your thing, you at least should be following 100 people a day.
Okay.
Because I mean, not everyone's going to follow you back.
Right. Did you want to talk about some of those other apps?
Yes, if you can put that picture up with the apps, I can explain real quick what they are. All right. Let's see. Come back.
Can you see it?
Yeah. The one at the top left is PhotoGrid. A lot of us use this one for the grid photos. You also can use it for single photos. A lot of the corporate photos that everyone posts, you can put those in a grid or a filter or at a border or whatnot and make it your own. You also can add your website in it.
That's exactly what I do. That's the one I use every single day, and I always take the corporate pictures and make them my own so that they don't.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Once in a blue moon, I'll use Pic Collage. I was using Pic Collage and Studio more when we had like Destination and Diamonds and stuff, but I mainly use PhotoGrid the most, for sure. A lot of the quotes, I also do post quotes on Instagram, inspirational, motivational, strength, whatever. If you notice that a lot of people might have like the same quote, you can use the text apps, kind of like WordSwag or Retype, and you can make it your own that way too. You could even put like your laptop and like a box of wraps in the background and have whatever quote you want in front of it. So it makes it nice to where you're customizing it yourself and you're still kind of adding your business side of it too. And you can do that too with your website. You also can use that for Facebook too, since Facebook won't let you post your website. Okay. The Tagomatic is the one I was talking about for the hashtags. Okay. That one helps out a lot. It also has different kind of like notepads where, let's say, for Confianza, you have a specific number of tags that you want to use for it. Even if the pictures are all different each time you post about it, you can save it in that under Confianza. That way, all you have to do is copy and paste those hashtags every time. You don't have to type out each one every single time you post about it. So it saves time. Aviary is awesome. I know Brittany uses this one a lot too. You can, I don't know about you guys, but my teeth are not as wet as I want them to be. But if I'm posting selfies and whatnot, that app is amazing. You also can get rid of blemishes, and it has a bunch of different filters. So that app is awesome. I use
Perfect 365 is one of my favorites too. I use that one.
I have to try that one. I don't have that one yet. PicTap Go. Unfortunately, as far as I know, they do not have this one for Android yet. I'm sure there is equivalent, but PicTap Go is amazing with filters. Contrast and brightness are a couple of the ones that I use from this one. And with Instagram, you always want your photos to be bright and colorful, not just like boring and faded, and like you want to draw people to your pictures. That app is amazing for that. You also can save whatever filters, like if you combine a couple filters, you can save it in your favorites for that too, so you don't have to go back and do everyone every time. So there are definitely ways to save time with having to do all the posting and everything on Instagram. InstaSize is the last app. It's the one on the top right. That is the one that I use if you want to make photos square, or if you want to add like the white border to them to kind of make them pop. That one is awesome for that. Now, I don't really use the filters on it just because it kind of drains everything out, but that one's an awesome one too.
Okay.
So that's pretty much on that.
Most of them are filtering apps or changing the photos, whatever. And then the Tagomatic is your hashtags. Mm-hmm. Wasn't there one called InstaTag or something like that?
There was. I didn't have much luck with that one. There also was one tags for likes.
Okay.
And tags for likes is one of those that doesn't update in real time.
Okay.
So. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a lot like Facebook now, which I guess kind of makes it easier. But does anyone have any questions?
Is Instagram too like more just pictures? You don't want like this huge explanation with it. You want something more simple?
Depends on, I mean, if it's a business post, my comment section tends to be a little bit larger just because I want to get in how excited I am. And if I'm doing like product testers and whatnot, I want to give them like as much info as I can without like having word vomit. Like key points of like, you get my discount, I only have this many spots left, and I'm talking to this many people. So you can kind of create that urgency, because they're not going to know any of that if you just have like a couple words and then a bunch of hashtags.
Right. So. And with any social media post too, I think it's so important that you just stop and picture the person that you are targeting, like what they look like, where they're at, what, you know, like I kind of used example on Facebook, like if it's a single mom, you know, with 2 kids hanging on her leg and she's got the other one in her arms and she's, you know, worried about all the total that's being added up, all the food that's being added up, and if she's going to have enough money, you know, like specifically where she's at, what she looks like, what her fears are, you know, think about the person you're targeting. Or, you know, the busy mom who's stressed out, who's, you know, behind on bills and, you know, this and that, you know, just picture that person so that when you do make your post, it's from the heart and like you're targeting a specific person, so that, you know, it's very intentional. And it's, you know, I think that's huge when it comes to social media, because we don't want to be spammy. We don't want to be a commercial. I think that, I think that's really important, you know, because we don't want to be advertisers.
And that's the awesome thing about Instagram too, is when you do searches, you also can search places. So let's say, going back to like the mom, let's say you search Target near your house and there's a bunch of people that post, and you find a post from a lady that has kids. You have something in common. You both shop at Target. You can kind of either like her, start loving on her, and then when the time is right, you can talk to her about the business. So if you feel like that's something that's going to help. Or on the flip side of that, I work near UC campus. So I can go on places and search everything that was tagged by UC campus. Students are broke. They need to pay their bills, and or loans even, for that matter. And like, that's how you can tag people and get a hold of people to try to get on your team.
Okay. So how are you searching that? How are you searching it?
All you do is you hit the search on Instagram, and then at the top, it'll say top people, what else? Top people, hashtag, or not hashtags, tags. And then it has places at the very end.
Okay.
You just hit places.
Okay.
And you can do that with anywhere. Like I use that when I'm trying to target people from California. And if there's like a restaurant, I know that In-N-Out, everyone loves In-N-Out out there. You can hit In-N-Out, and then you'll find everyone that posts about In-N-Out or In-N-Out's Instagram, and you can look on there and see who likes the pictures, and then you can try to add all those people. So I use the places thing a lot.
So like when I hit top, those are all the recent tags
that people that you've tags and people's Instagrams that you've looked at.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh. And then if you go under tags, if you're not searching a tag, it's all the tags that you just used.
Gotcha. This is so interesting. Never even knew Okay, so then you can also see where it's trending, what the trending things are at the top. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, I'm Instagram dumb, but I'm going to be smart. Does anybody have any questions? You can unmute yourself or raise your hand or...
I do. This is Tammy.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi, guys. I have a big Instagram following, and I was keeping up really good with it, but my main problem is, I don't post a lot about my business. It kind of just it's always in the background, and I've had good success with that. But when people do like a post that is my product, I don't know how to go about reaching out to them. I have never got a single customer, like a loyal customer or anything off of it. So I don't know how to approach that. That's the hard part for me.
Me personally, I would definitely, especially if they like and comment, I would just message them, tell them, hey, thank you so much for liking my post. I absolutely love the greens. Have you tried them before? And kind of just go from there. Don't just instantly try to be like, okay, hey, do you want to buy this? But just talk to them about it. See if they've ever tried it or heard of it even. Some people haven't even heard of our products or it works in general. And I kind of start talking to him that way, back and forth.
And I was just like, send him a direct message, and I'm like, thank you for liking my post. If you have any questions about what you've seen, or if you're interested, contact me. And not like a single one. I had one girl one time ask me how to join the business, and I made it really brief and short, but still she never got back to me. So honestly, it's become like discouraging lately, because I get a lot of likes and a lot of interaction, but there's no, I don't know, it's just not going anywhere.
Something that I would try, when you message them back, try not to end it on kind of like a let me know. Because if you tell them, let me know if you need anything, or if you're interested in this, or if you have any questions, and usually like that'll be the end of it. I would try either, I'm trying to think.
I would
definitely
say
not to let me know, but
yeah, I would say when's a good time for us to talk?
Mm-hmm.
Get their contact information instead of just messaging back and forth, so they can talk to you and feel that you're a real person and hear the excitement in your voice and the passion that you have for the products.
And if you're phone phobia like I am, you can even see if they're on Facebook. Ask them if they're on Facebook. Ask them if you can send them a voice message on Facebook, and kind of like test the waters that way. I mean, I don't know if you're comfortable talking on the phone or not. I am a total introvert, so going straight to phone calls kind of freaks me out a little bit. But if I can voice message them first on Facebook, it's so much easier for me.
Yeah, that's true. Anytime they can hear your voice, anyhow,
I'm not afraid to talk on the phone at all. It's just them getting to communicate with you, or actually giving you their information. I think it's a long process. I don't hardly have any of my Facebook people on Instagram, because I figured then they're like seeing the same stuff twice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I should or not. I don't know.
They say sometimes you have to talk to the more you talk to them, the higher your percentages of getting them to sign. And usually when it gets to the 10th to 12th time of responding with them or connecting with them is when they're more apt. That's when your percentage goes way up. So consistency, I guess, just staying persistent with messaging them back and forth. And just be
like I said, I get a bunch of messages. I forget.
Yeah. And I kind of do the guilt thing. Like, I'm sorry, did I offend you? Is there something that I said that upset you? And they usually come right back. And then I'll just say, I'm not trying to bug you. I just, since you were interested, I feel like entitled to tell you about it, and let them know that they're entitled to hear about it, that you're passionate about it, and just keep going back and forth.
A lot of the time they just forgot.
Yeah.
Has it taken you a really long time to build? Do you get a lot of business off of Instagram and Facebook?
Facebook more than Instagram. It used to be the opposite, but when the algorithms changed, it kind of flipped back to Facebook.
And don't they say that you shouldn't make the same post on Facebook and Instagram?
Okay. You can, however, and I am guilty of this because I get lazy, but how you can click on sharing it on Facebook,
right.
Don't do that, because then exactly what she was saying, like it's going to show the same thing twice. And what I usually do is, if I post my inspirational thing on Instagram, then I'll post something different on Facebook. And then I'll post something on Instagram about something else, and then I'll post inspirational on Facebook. You know what I mean? So I'm like flopping them back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So half the time people don't even notice, because the same people aren't seeing the same post because I'm posting them at different times. So I mean, that's what I do. Or you can save them in your notes. I do this a lot too, and then post them on different days.
So that'll be something different too.
That way you already have the post made. You have exactly what you're going to say saved, and you can just copy and paste it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Who else has questions?
I do. This is Billy. I was talking to Jessica earlier, she's a potential distributor. I'm going for distributor because she has a lot of health issues and always sick and has gotten fired from many jobs, and the list goes on. So she actually messaged me and asked me for my website. And this was on Facebook. So instead of saying, I said, well, I cannot give it to you on Facebook Messenger. It won't let me. Can I have your phone number? And I'll send it that way. And then I sent her my link to my website. And then I said, well, what can I help you with? And then she opened up and said she wants to get off of this nighttime medicine that she's on to help her sleep. She wants to try the infuser. And then I brought Jody up since I don't have any, what's that word, Jody? Experience with the diffuser and the essential oils and all that. So, and I asked, because I wanted personally to hear how Jody interacts, so I know how to interact when I'm talking. But she's said no because she had a migraine. Jessica did. So did I do right? Or
Oh, you're fine. She just,
Yeah.
I would just follow up with her tomorrow and I mean, you can say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you felt rough last night. You know, you can kind of share my story with her about my migraines.
I did, and she did watch your video.
Oh, okay. Okay. Perfect.
And she said that is a great story, and she's going to like a temporary agency tomorrow to try to get a job. And if she does get the job, she's going to buy the essential oils. But this gives me, I think, a great lead up to, hey, well, if you didn't get that job, maybe I can help you start your own business.
I wouldn't even say if you didn't get that job. I would just say I would love to talk to you more about our opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. And also the new you will help her with sleeping.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. That actually,
I
I started a couple months ago, and I was to the point to where I didn't like over-the-counter stuff, but every now and then I'd take a Benadryl to help me sleep. And I hated how I felt in the morning. I felt so crappy. But the new you is amazing for that.
Yeah.
I have a couple of samples of the new you I could probably give her.
Yeah. And maybe try to get her on the phone with me, you know.
Yeah, I would love to just hear how, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I would love to hear how you interact so I know how to interact.
Sure. Yeah, we can get on a 3-way call. But no, just because she stopped messaging, maybe since she had a migraine, she went and laid down, she got off social media, whatever. I wouldn't take any offense to that at all. So I would just check in with her tomorrow and let her know you care. Say, how are you doing today? Did your, migraine go away? I hate, I know what they feel like. I just, just be a friend, just be real with her and be genuine.
I've known her since high school. So, we graduated together. So, and it's just, I didn't mean to back up with her until like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, and all this that she's going through, I mean, she's had a rough, I'm just wanting to be there for her, but at the same time, she backs off,
Yeah, that's okay. You don't want to smother her either. They always say just
right.
give her the answers that she wants, keep it simple. So.
And I have a hard time with that. How do you answer a question and be short about it, but not too short, like snippy short,
Well, we always say spit and then be quiet. Don't puke. Because if you're throwing up on them, you're giving them way too much information. So we always say spit and then duct tape, spit and then duct tape. So you're just giving them a little bit and letting them come back with more questions.
Okay.
Practice too. Practice with a loved one. Practice with a friend. I did that with my sister because I was word vomiting all over everyone. Like seriously, like 3-paragraph messages. It was awful. And I just started practicing with my sister, and it helps. The more you do it, the easier it will get, I promise.
Well, I started doing the events, and I noticed, I've watched videos, stand up, don't sit down, stuff like that. So that's what I did at the last event. And then when I started talking, some people would just walk away. So I was like, well, I'm just going to stand in front of them, and I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to, I seen you looking at my table. I seen you see our display, and I want to know what caught your eye. And so that's what I started doing, and that's when we started getting names and numbers, and it worked, but I don't know if I was being aggressive because I haven't gotten, I've made the calls, but I have not gotten the calls back.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that and talk about what you're saying and follow up. But there again, it's being persistent, not stopping after once.
I've contacted from the first event I have contacted them 3 different ways so far.
Okay.
What do I do from here?
Well, we'll talk about that later. Let's finish our Instagram. You and I can chat.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I love your excitement. But we'll get on the phone and chat about that, because I want to know like what you all said, and so we'll chat about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Jess, is there anything else that you want to leave us with, or?
Consistency. I know it's not everyone's favorite word, but it helps out a great deal. Just kind of do it like with your daily routine. If you have to post while you're at work, just make sure, okay, I get my lunch break at this hour. Got to make sure I do my post. Like kind of just like clockwork, just like brushing your teeth in the morning. It'll become like second nature the more you do it. So.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly, because sometimes it does take just going. Amanda Miranda did a video one time. I'm going to have to see if I can find it or message her for it, but it was amazing. She talked about the percentage of, follow up with people, and how from this time to this time, it was this percent that they would sign, and this percent, this many times to this many times, the percent went higher. And then by the 10th to the 12th contact is when it was like the percentage was way high, as far as them finally signing and jumping on board. So I loved that video, and it just blew me away. And I was like, oh my gosh, so many times we give up after 3 or 4 times, and really we need to continue like the 10th and 12th time. I was telling, I was posting on the team page how, I've just been even going back through existing customers that haven't even ordered for years, saying, hey, I just wanted to thank you for being part of my journey. We have so many amazing products packages out right now. Was just checking in to see if you were interested in anything. And so many people were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you contacted me. I definitely want to get some products. And these are people I haven't talked to, that ordered from me 4 or 5 years ago. So it's amazing at, just putting a bug in their ear, how they're like, how many times people think about it, but they're like, oh, I don't even know where to start to get back into my loyal customer account or whatever. And it's like, I've signed, I think almost 500 customers. And so it's like, I just started getting my folders out, because I keep hard copies of all of their loyal customer forms. And I just started getting them out and just started contacting the people, and everybody's giving so much positive response. So you don't have to always work off of your new leads. You can work off of leads that you have from a long time ago. That's why I never throw them away unless they tell me absolutely stop contacting me, So anyhow, but well, it's 9:45. I want to thank you guys for jumping on. Thanks, Jess, for your time and loving on us and giving us all your info, and I appreciate it. I'll be hollering at you if I have any other questions.
Sounds good. This stuff changes like every 6 months, I feel like.
I'm gonna really start working through Instagram, because sometimes you feel like you get stuck. And so like I want to try it. I want to try being more intentional, I should say, with it. I have been doing, posting here and there, but I want to be more intentional with it. I want to clean up some of my followers too, because I've been noticing a lot of garbage, like the reps, help me get leads. Like all the lead people are like all over my, and I keep trying to block.
Get 1,000 followers. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we definitely need to be blocking those people as well. So, but I know that I need to be adding way more than what I am. So anyhow, thank you for loving on us, and thank you for all the time. And thank you everybody for growing your business tonight and taking the time to jump on. And I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your week. Say a prayer for us. We're heading to Florida at 4 a.m. Haven't showered, haven't finished packing, but I'll be ready, I promise. You might have to call me or text me in the morning.
I'm doing my nails right now.
You're doing your nails? All right. Everybody have an amazing night. Thanks again, Jess.
You too. No problem.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.